In this demonstration, I'd like to show you how the CLEVVA Digital Expert can be deployed onto a bank's website using the out-of-the-box web interface. This interface is easily deployed as a single line of code by adding a script to the website. The Digital Expert works on any device. It could be a mobile, it could be a laptop or desktop, and will respond to the size of the screen. In this example, the customer might be looking for a loan. So in this case, they can ask a question, and the Digital Expert allows them to type it in a free, natural way. So they could type in, "I need a loan," and they could click next. So one of the advantages of the interface is it's really, it's maximizing the richness of HTML5 and allows you to fit a lot into the space. Now, the Digital Expert will send that utterance to the natural language understanding component of choice. We have connectors with Microsoft Lewis, and in this case, it's come back and it understands that they're looking for a loan, and it's trying to understand now and to clarify how it can help. Do they want to do a loan application now, or do they want to explore loan options? In this case, this customer has a couple of needs. They need money. They're not quite sure which loan would be appropriate to them. So the Digital Expert presents a number of options, and in this case, they need help deciding. And the user can then be asked a number of questions by the Digital Expert, just like a banking expert or the best banking consultants would handle this conversation. In this example, we're showing a needs analysis that's based on the life stage of the customer. So in this case, they may be at the stage of improving, stabilizing their family and their lifestyle. And this infers a whole lot of needs to make the conversation relevant to that particular customer and to hyper-personalize it. It can also gamify and present some interesting stats to keep it engaging. For example, that they form part of 8% of the population in that life stage, and can also present dynamic links to join the community on a social platform if they want to connect with people in the same life stage as them, as an example. The needs that are inferred that may be relevant to this particular customer are presented. And in this case, they may be looking to improve their home. They might be wanting to do some extensions. And also they'll be thinking of planning a family holiday. So they can select one or many needs and they can click next. And the Digital Expert can start to shape the conversation accordingly. In this case, it wants to go in and understand a little bit more about their home improvements. What are they looking to do? So are they looking to do repairs, extensions, remodeling? In this case, they're looking to do extensions, and they will click next. So the conversation then starts to shape around the inputs. In this case, the Digital Expert can then show relevant links to building material suppliers that they can get great discounts on, given that they are looking to do some extensions. We can then continue the conversation. And what we're also able to do is, if I also wanted to furnish the home, I could go back a couple of steps and then I could select refurnishing as well. So this feature allows you to go back in history, change the conversation, and then it'll move it forward with that selection in mind. So it really is dynamic in terms of moving back and forth, unlike other chatbots, which make it very difficult. You need to start the conversation again. Now you can see that instead of going to the next screen, it's opening up some more information about furniture and discounts that they can get with some of their partners. So that is dynamically added as part of the conversation based on the selections. If we continue, then it goes back to understanding a bit more about the holiday plans, so we can see what type of solution they need. In this case, we want to know what the destination is, and we can infer a whole lot of things from that. The timeline, that also helps with the solution. Do they need flights, accommodation, or car hire? Let's say they're going to stay with family and they just need flights. They don't need a car and they don't need accommodation. Now, the Digital Expert can work with other systems, can also then go and get recommendations around cross-selling, upselling products based on the selection. For example, conversation about Forex or visas and travel advisory services that the banks offer, and also travel insurance that they can explore with links to the relevant web pages. The customer can then continue and also be given a number of links to, for example, benefits on flights with partner companies. The digital expert could then also recommend a number of solutions. So, for example, they may want to use their home loan, they may want to finance the holiday and the renovations through their home loan. So that's an option. Or, for example, the credit card, and then again, also looking at other cross-selling, upselling around Forex solutions. If we go into the home loan option to finance it, the digital expert wants to understand a little bit more about their situation. In this case, it is not integrated. We're showing this as a customer that has not logged in, haven't authenticated themselves. And if we had, then we could get a lot of these answers already from the systems. In this case, it's asking them, do they have a new or existing property? So let's say they want to refinance an existing property. And based on that selection, it goes into some further questions about this and looking at the underlying reasons being accessing capital and home improvements based on the previous conversation. So you can see that those selections have already been made and inferred from the conversation that has been had. So it carries all the context through and applies it accordingly. The solution also then depends on whether or not they have a home loan with the bank, with another bank, if they don't have a home loan. So in this scenario, let's say that yes, they do have a home loan, but it's with another bank. And there's a great opportunity to then switch. But before they offer to switch, we want to see what the situation is with their property. And the digital expert can ask the question around, has their property value increased? Also a link to a website that can help them with that determination, just as a way to shape the conversation. So if they did have equity, then it is still a good solution. So once that has been confirmed, they can then see that the additional funds from that home can then be accessed, and that would then be used for the extensions and the refurnishing as discussed, as well as their overseas holiday. So if they'd like to continue with that, they can click next, or they can look at other solutions, or they can click unsure and potentially discuss it with their partner and wait. So let's continue with this. Now the home loan application process can also be guided by the digital expert, and in this case, how they're going to do the home loan application is important. So in this case, let's say it's a joint application, and that then also helps to guide what is the documentation that's required. So for example, you'll need ID documents, latest pay slips, and list of monthly expenses for both applicants. And we could then begin the home loan application online with everything that we need, and the customer will do that with the confidence to go forward.